And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, computer, PC design, web design ninja in the studio as well. We got so much to talk about. Great lineup for you here. We don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. We want to help you win in any marketplace. That's the goal of our show.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, I want you to pull out your smartphone, save our consumer advocate hotline number in your phone. It's 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894.
Baby, don't forget my number.
Don't forget our number. At some point, you may need it. We also want you to bookmark realestateradiotampa.com. That's our website, blog site, a plethora of information available for you there, as well as our YouTube channel. Check out our YouTube channel. Lots of great video content there, some awesome interviews. And we're here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa, Florida here. iHeartRadio, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., your most important hour on the air every day. And then also on the weekends, we have our show on 102.5 The Bone. Want to remind you as well, we're streaming all of our shows live from our website, realestateradiotampa.com. Just click on the live stream. You can see all of our expert contributors here in studio via our awesome cameras that we have provided by Tampa Bay Multimedia and the team over there doing a great job with WeBeam TV, helping us grow the show. We're experiencing explosive growth here in the Tampa Bay market. Very excited about the things here to come. We're halfway through the year now, and a lot of momentum, a lot of great things happening. Over 80 show partners now with the Real Estate Quarterback Show and our sister brand called the Consumer Quarterback Show. The consumer brand's more around health and nutrition and lifestyle, recreation related, and of course our feature, the Real Estate Quarterback Show, is all about estate planning, tax planning, helping you think a layer deeper. We want to make you more street smart out there, help you win in any marketplace. So we're going to go around the horn here, make our introductions. First up, back in studio, Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911. Welcome back in, sir.
Thank you, Brandon. Happy to be here. Today we're going to talk about the clock is ticking on a few things with people's computers, and we're also going to talk a little bit about a new twist on kind of an old-time online scam that's being circled around out there.
Man, those scammers are out there, I'll tell you.
They're thinking new stuff all the time. So
perfect. So we're going to help you think a layer deeper, avoid all that with the Consumer Quarterback Show here. And also in studio, Teo Leonard, Web Design Ninja. Welcome in, sir.
Yeah, welcome, Brandon. Thank you very much. After building websites for over 22 years, we just want to talk about some of the tips and tricks that can help your business succeed on the internet, and some of those common mistakes that businesses make when picking a web designer and building out their site.
Love it, love it, love it. Also back in studio, attorney Shawn Yesner, Yesner Law.
Thank you again for having me on, Brandon. I appreciate it. One thing that I'm going to talk about, I was out at Honeymoon Island for 4th of July getting sunburnt. But interestingly, bankruptcies, foreclosures, debt also seem to be cyclical. And so we're going to talk about what happens at different times of the year when certain things are prone to increase or decrease in terms of bankruptcies, foreclosures, loan mods, all that kind of stuff.
That's what I love about this show. We're able to come in and we're giving that seasonally appropriate advice to our listeners out there. Every season brings different cycles. There's different things to look out for, things to be aware of and cognizant of. So we're going to help you with that, and that's our goal. Is we want to help entertain, enlighten, educate, but most importantly, we want to engage you and help you live a better life. So you're going to hear, potentially offers throughout the show. It might be text for a credit package or text for the value on your home, whatever it might be. But we really urge you to engage us. That way we can help you live a better life and win in any marketplace. So this segment is brought to you by Back In Health Massage. Giving a shout out to Michael Vogt with Back In Health Massage. He's located on Gunn Highway in Tampa, right there at Gunn and Dale Mabry. And he's voted top 10 massage services in Tampa Bay by the readers of the Tampa Bay Business Journal's Best in the Biz Awards. Shout out to Michael Vogt, Back in Health Massage, as well as Ray Milton. He's a vegan soul chef here in Tampa Bay. He's my personal chef. Shout out to Ray Milton with Ray's Vegan Soul, where I'll hit you with a flavor. That's his tagline. He said he's going to bring that flavor, and man, he does. He delivers on that promise. Does a great job. Cooks these awesome meals for me. I carry them with me in my vehicle as I'm going throughout my day. I'm not running into those fast food stores with my blood sugar level real low and spiking. And I have these awesome meals prepared for me. Helps me take care of my body, because what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? So it's so important. Our health team takes a great care of us here with Michael Vogt, massage therapist, Ray Milton, excellent chef here in Tampa Bay. And before we jump into this great content, we're going to be talking with Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911. And we got a hot new listing here in West Chase. This is 9802 Wood Bay Drive in Tampa in the West Chase, Section 110. 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, beautiful property, corner lot. And it's over 1,800 square feet, listed at $369,000. And West Chase, by the way, was just voted number 1 in the United States of America for families to live. Number 1 subdivision neighborhood in the United States is West Chase. It was a really cool article just came out, and we got a great listing here. Just hit the market. I'm expecting multiple offers on this thing. 9802 Wood Bay Drive, Tampa. We're also having an open house on Sunday, so stop by, check it out. We're going to probably hold all offers because we're going to get multiple offers on this one till Sunday evening is probably when we'll have the cutoff. But 9802 Wood Bay Drive, beautiful, beautiful buying opportunity. And also have a beach property here at 13235 Gulf Boulevard, number 409 in Madeira Beach. Beautiful property here, Madeira Bay Resort 2 condo, 2-bedroom, 2-bath property, listed at $239,000. Would you believe? Only $239,000 for this 2-bedroom, 2-bath property, condo-tel. So it's one of those things where you can rent it out most of the year, use it when you want. And, you have an awesome vacation home right in Madeira Beach. You walk across the beach, and you're at the Gulf Boulevard, and you're in the sugar sands of Madeira Beach on the Gulf of Mexico. All right, we're here in studio, live from iHeartRadio. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host. I'm the owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. And we're going to be talking with Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911. So what are you seeing out there, Randy?
Well, I'll tell you what. Last year, Microsoft put out the offer to upgrade your computers for free up to Windows 10 for anybody owning a Windows 7 or Windows 8 computer. That date where that free offer goes away is July 29th. A little more than 20 days away from today. So if you don't get your computer upgraded, taking advantage of that free offer by then if you want to upgrade in the future, you're going to have to pay for it. So, yep. So if you have a Windows 7 or Windows 8 computer now and you want to do the upgrade, you want to either take the chance of doing it on your own, which in most cases it works out pretty good. But there's probably about 20-25% of the time where I get a phone call where the upgrade went bad. So I would recommend that you consult a professional and let them do the upgrade for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that you can do from the comfort of your own home. I believe you could probably go in through one of those programs and control their PC.
I can do remote assistance for that. I actually prefer to have that in my possession. I'll come and pick up your computer because I like to do a lot of prep work to just make sure that everything goes well.
Right.
Most of all, backing up your computer the way it is now. That way, if something goes wrong, I can put it back and either try a different route or just say, you know what, your computer really isn't eligible. It's eligible, but maybe it's not the perfect candidate for Windows 10 upgrade. A
lot of variables, and maybe the memory's capacity. That's how mine was. I think when you helped me with mine, the capacity was like, man, you got no room left.
Yep.
So does that affect something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. That and older hardware. If you have one of the first set of Windows 7 PCs that came out, maybe the hardware that's in your computer is just not compatible.
Right.
They don't have drivers for Windows 10 to make that hardware work. So, those are things that we can go in and check and make sure that your computer is a good candidate for the upgrade.
Interesting. So tell us about this new twist on a fake tech support scam out there.
Yeah, they've been doing the pop-up thing on different websites. You'll go to a website, and especially if it's a website with ads all over it, there'll be a malicious ad that will pop up a full screen ad that says, something to the effect of, your computer is infected, call this phone number to get tech support. Well, that's a fake. That's a fake message. But now what they're doing, instead of just having what it was often like a blue screen or just a big note on your screen. But now what they're doing is they're making the ad look like it's coming from your internet service provider. So like Verizon or Bright House, it'll be branded, making it look like it's coming from your internet company, and they'll try to get you to call a number. That phone number does not go to your internet service provider. It goes to some other, more often than not, out of country tech support company that's just trying to scam you out of your.
Then they're going to ask for your credit card number. Going to hit you with a with a fee on your. There's so many scammers out there, and that's gosh, I see it in real estate too. We had a couple that got a Craigslist scam. They paid for a rental cash right on at the property, and they thought it wasn't even their property. They didn't verify ownership. So there's so many scams out there, and we want to help you think a layer deeper. We want to make you more street smart, help you win out there. And so stay with us. We're going to be talking with more from Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911. We're also going to hear from Teo Leonard, Web Design Ninja of Tampa Bay. And stay with us. The best is yet to come. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Featured in Florida Realtor Magazine multiple times, Tampa Bay Business Journal, and the Tribune. Recognized for innovations with helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. It's a great time to put your property on the market if you haven't thought of it, or if you're potentially thinking about it, maybe moving closer to the beach, move up, down, left, right. It's a great time. There's lack of inventory out there. There's, buyers are looking for real estate properties. They cannot find the, adequate inventory that's out there. So if you're a seller out there, we want you reaching out. Again, at 813-917-1894. That's our hotline, 917-1894.
Welcome to my house.
This segment is brought to you by the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They are referred for a reason. And we also have another hot listing here in South Tampa. We got 2 beach park listings. If you're looking into 33609 south of Kennedy, east of West Shore here, it's 4618 West Beach Park Drive. Beautiful property, very clean, immaculate property here. All the upgrades in Beach Park. 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 1 half bath. And it's over 2,550 square feet, listed at only $799, and the 33609 zip code 4618 West Beach Park Drive, Tampa. $799,000. Just hit the market about a week and a half ago. So we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio. Beautiful South Tampa, Florida here. We're talking with Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911. We're talking about some of those scams that are out there, ways to protect yourself. There's fake tech support scams as well. And also, I see some of the show notes here. Windows Vista, end of life. Windows Vista.
Yeah, Microsoft released Windows Vista back in 2007, and the typical lifespan of an operating system is about 10 years. So that's coming up. April of 2017 will be the end of support for Windows Vista, which means, your computer will continue to work. However, you will no longer be receiving the monthly updates and the security patches and everything that you get every month from Microsoft. So you have until April to start thinking about budgeting for most likely a new computer. A lot of them can be upgraded, but those machines are pretty old, and at this point I would just recommend looking for a new system.
The price of technology goes down. It's one of the few classes, yeah. Right? Real estate appreciates. Vehicles, a lot of times that's going to come down. But, when you think about technology, man, nothing is going to come down in cost year over year as technology.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yep.
You see the laptops coming down in price, even cell phones.
Yeah, when I bought my first computer back in 1994 was when I first got into Windows-based computers, and I think I spent $2,500 on just like a basic computer back then. And nowadays, you can get it for less than $500. So it's amazing how much. Yeah.
The portability that you have. I use a Mac too. Sometimes I'll bring that thing with me, and it's just the AirBook, I guess they call it. So it's so portable. It's pretty cool. I was watching the CNN. They do these documentaries on the 80s, and of course, it was talking about Gates and the iPhones and the advent of the computers and the whole docudrama. Pretty interesting. Have you seen that before?
Absolutely. Yep, I have.
What's your takeaways from that?
It's they have a thing. It's called Moore's Law. It's like every year the price. I can't remember exactly how it goes. The price is cut in half, and the amount of transistors that are on a chip double, and it's just amazing how fast technology is moving.
That was cool. It talked about how close they are to each other. Yeah. And Teo, chime in if you know where we're going with it. But
absolutely.
When you get close to that's faster, it's more efficient, it's smaller, the productivity. Yep. But the old PCs and a really cool book too is it reminds me of Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers book, and he talked about, I can't remember if it was Steve Jobs or if it was Bill Gates, but they're normally the two that are kind of used with this type of scenario. But he was talking about outliers, and the way that he was an outlier is that he had access through some kind of a connection through either a company or a school, and he would go in and use the computers, and he was able to kind of immerse himself into that technology, and then that led, of course, to him making millions and millions of dollars. Yeah. But it's all about the immersion and surrounding yourself with whatever you want to grow in.
That's right.
But very cool, very cool. So if you just joined us, you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We're talking with Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911. Let's go ahead and bring Teo Leonard into the conversation, web design ninja here in Tampa Bay. Yes.
Yeah, pleasure. Going on the scam thing, one of the things that we see a lot is with the websites are the constant calls from we're from Google, and your update is expired. I'm going to tell you, Google's not going to call you.
Yeah.
They just aren't. Most of those are 99% of those are scams. A lot of the search engine optimization that's going on are scams. It's sad the way that we have these people preying on businesses and individuals
Yep.
just to take money and do nothing.
Yeah,
So,
I get stuff in the mail almost every year telling me that I need to renew my domain.
Oh.
Contact us because your domain's about to expire. But I don't do business with them. I do business with somebody else.
Right.
And all they want to do is hijack your domain and then charge you $50, $60, $100 a year when you can get it for $15 a year at GoDaddy or one of your local web guys. So
Yeah.
it's amazing the opportunities that that technology has allowed these opportunities to just
Right.
expand and go everywhere.
Yeah, you'll get that one. You'll get the one if you start up a new business, entity. You'll get the one that says, "Oh, well, just mail your payment to this PO box," and then it's like, "Well, never see that again. Never can track them down." That's the problem with some of these businesses, the way they structure it, and they make it look legit.
Oh, they do, and right along that line, when you get your domain name or you register your business and you start getting all these flyers and mailers on. Get your website for free, and you can build a website online for free, and it's only going to cost you $200 a month for hosting or $100 a month. And what's important is that you don't own that website. That website cannot be moved, it cannot be maintained or grown and expanded. And it's another reason to consult a professional. One of the things, we talk about technology back in 93, 94 when you got your first computer.
Yep.
I had written my first book on the internet in November of 93, and there were about 15, 20 websites out there. And we kind of laughed. Our first big website was the back end for Pizza Hut. And when they called and said, "Hey, we want to build a website so people could order pizzas online," we laughed. I mean, it was so funny. The technology didn't exist to take payments or any of that kind of stuff. Over the years, that's morphed where you got to realize that your phone has more power than a computer did even 10, 12 years ago. And the processing power and the technology. And one of the things to look out for as a business when you get your website, whether you hire a professional or whether you went with one of those $99 a month hosting guys, is that technology changes. And just 5 years ago, very few people looked at your site on your phone. Today, depending on your business, it can be 90%. And if your website's not mobile and it's not designed to accurately convert those potential customers, you're losing on that business.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's I was listening to a Tony Robbins CD the other day, and he talked about how he had met, I think, President Bill Clinton back then, and he said he had met and hey, I think there's this way that we can communicate through email now, and it's an AOL account, and he said the President of the United States didn't even have that technology back then that is now in the pockets of every teenager and walking around out there.
And you mentioned AOL. For a business, that's something that we run into a lot. About 50% of consumers will not do business with a business that is using a Gmail or a Yahoo or an AOL account. The simplest thing you can do for a business is go and buy your domain name, get your email so that it is your domain name, it is your business. You own it, you control it. Recently, we had a Verizon moving to Frontier, and Verizon said, we're no longer going to do that email, so now you have to pay AOL to do that. Had a similar thing a couple years ago with Bell South, where all these businesses just lost their emails.
Wow.
And we talk about that. The first thing we do with the customers, make sure that they convert to a business email. The professionalism, you don't realize how much business you're missing until you change.
Yeah, it just looks better, and you have, like you said, the control. And I know you were helping people. By the way, if you just joined us, you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We're talking with Teo Leonard here, Web Design Ninja, as well as Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911. But when we come back from break, we're kind of running into our break here. I want you to talk about that Frontier and how you helped a lot of clients. I know it's such a headache for a lot of people out there, the conversion over, and Captain Teo here can help you with web design. You know, he's done over 22,000 websites.
3,300.
3,300.
22 years.
22 years. So yeah, you know, awesome. So he's still a little bit new at this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we want to help you, you know, with your web design out there. As a business owner, also Randy can help you, you know, with any types of repairs that you can do through the Windows 10 upgrades, different things happening with Windows Vista, and those types of things. So we have a tech corner here going on with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Anything you have in your tech corner, we want to pull out that toolbox and help you win. So stay with us. We're also going to bring in attorney Shawn Yesner into the conversation, financial solutions attorney, bankruptcy, loan modifications, short sales, ways that we can help you win and overcome whatever you might be facing. So stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. This segment is brought to you by Smart Move Moving and Storage, the official moving partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, as well as Hula Bay. Awesome waterfront dining here in South Tampa, located just south of Gandy Boulevard on the west side of West Shore there. Great, used to be known as Rattlefish back in the day, but a great waterfront ambiance, awesome food. It's our official restaurant partner. And go say hello to Mike Finnegan down there. He's the general manager, and he'll hook you up with a free – let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and he's going to give you a free water with lemon just by going to visit. All you have to do is mention that. And he's got awesome sushi, some great food down there. Waterfront dining. You also have Duke's Surfer Bar right down below. Great time on the weekends for parties. If you have not gone there, got to check it out. I'm also over there with Freedom Boat Club, going out on the boats a lot of times and enjoy that outdoors here. Living in Tampa Bay, the best place to live in the United States of America.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, so the first couple segments, we've been talking a lot about technology, and we're helping you as a consumer out there. We've got a package here that Randy's wanting to offer as well. It's Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911. If you just mention the Real Estate Quarterback Show, and you're going to get 10% off any PC repair for any of our listeners out there. So if you want to text in for that offer, text. If you want help, let's do this. If you need tech repair, text the word tech or tech repair. And if you want some help with web design, text web design to our hotline. Okay, let's do that for our listeners, and we're gonna have some discounts built in for you by just simply texting the word tech repair or web design to 813-917-1894. All you have to do is text our consumer advocate hotline. Text tech repair, or web design at 813-917-1894. That's our hotline.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Now, you can call that hotline, too, now, and you don't have to be a texter out there, especially if you're driving. Again, 917-1894. Give us a call. If you happen to leave a voicemail, my promise is to get back to you before my head hits the pillow. So we've got our tech guys. We've got a tech corner here, Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911, and we're also talking with Captain Teo Leonard here, Web Design Ninja of Tampa Bay. So let's go back to Teo here. Sure. What else are you seeing out there? Common mistakes?
One of the things we run into is the Web Design Ninja came about because I fix a lot of other website mistakes from other developers or designers. It seems there's a lot of people out there that, they read a book or they take a video on YouTube and now they can be a web guy. And what we're seeing is businesses look and go, well, geez, I'm going to build a website. I'm going to spend $1,500 or $1,000 or $2,000. And they don't really investigate the designer to see if they're building a custom site. And yeah, there's a lot of beautiful templates out there, and you can save a couple of dollars by using a template. However, those guys building the templates, they're from India and the Philippines, and they're not studying the psychology of how the consumers are using that site.
Right.
And with 22 years of experience, we track how people are using the sites and the interaction. So, in a mobile world, you're going to lose 60%, 70% of the people if you don't have your phone numbers as click to call, if you don't state your area of your services. Restaurants, the biggest mistake is not having a map on the front page. Mm-hmm. People are looking for specific information. If they can't find it, if it's not designed in a mechanism that allows the customer to easily find what they're looking for, they simply go to the next one.
Right.
Because no matter what service you offer, there's 100 others on the next couple of pages of Google that'll provide it. So you have to make that site user-friendly, and it really takes somebody with experience that has done hundreds and hundreds of sites to understand that.
Yeah, and I've seen those studies. One of our partners, I've seen him actually show on the computer screen. You can see the heat maps where the mouse goes.
Correct.
So the mouse went here, it clicked on this one, and went there, and that's where we lost the client. So there's studies that can be done to see how that operates.
Yeah, we do actually do that on every site. Every site we build, we go through, and before it goes live, actually before we start building, if they have an existing site, we put some trackers on there so that we watch over the next couple of weeks how people interact and use that site. And that helps us build the proper site for the customer when we rebuild it. The next phase is when we get ready to go live. We actually have a 231-item checklist that we go through and check to make sure that everything is correct, all the right tools and items are there for the customer so that it just works flawlessly. So that's important. Back to the business, you mentioned briefly the Frontier thing. Yeah, with Verizon switching to Frontier, a lot of customers got burned. And it's important that if your business is using the internet, that you have an internet provider that you can rely on. And in the case of the FiOS shift, there were numerous companies and businesses that were down for anywhere from 5 to 23 days. We actually, our office, we had both. We have Bright House and we have Verizon. Verizon had us disconnected for 23 days and 14 missed calls for appointments to come out. And, it's pretty sad that they don't view the business customers the way they should. And so if your business relies on that, it's very simple, and Randy can probably actually help you hook that up. But it's easy to set up a router so that you have both Bright House and Verizon,
Right.
Bright House and Frontier, so that you have both angles covered.
Right, the redundancy is the key, because then you've got Bright House and Verizon, and you're able to hopefully ensure how that would run down. How does the government do it? I mean, what do they do?
Well, they have redundant systems all the way around,
Right.
And they have special routers that a lot of times are actually talking on a dedicated line or multiple dedicated lines. And in the case of like your larger companies, they have a dedicated line. They're just not plugged into Fios or Bright House, et cetera.
Right.
They have a Bright House line. And you're going to pay several $1,000s a month for that.
What's cool is I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins. I was listening to his Money Master the Game, and he was saying how in this world of trading, that the milliseconds of would cost you a certain amount of monies if you're making these huge amounts of trades that some of these trading companies. And there was a firm, I forgot how much money they paid, but it was an exorbitant amount of money just to straighten the line from Chicago to New York. They paid X amount of dollars just to make that line that much faster.
Yeah, our for my larger customers that do a lot of transactions, we host those in a data center in St. Louis so that it's never more than 3 hops to a main point in the United States.
Very cool.
And monitoring that speed is critical for a business. If it's going to take 10, 15 seconds for a page to load, you've lost that customer.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Teo Leonard, the web design ninja of Tampa Bay here, and does a great job with web design. We also heard from Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911. Let's go ahead and bring our co-host for the day into the conversation, Mr. Shawn Yesner, attorney Shawn Yesner here, financial solutions, well-respected attorney here in Tampa Bay. And what you seeing out there, Shawn?
Yeah, thanks, Brandon, and I apologize for being so talkative during the show today. But no, it's been really interesting stuff. I am not a tech guy, except just in terms of how it impacts the law firm. So I'm trying to soak in as much as I can here. But we talked at the very beginning, and I know we're getting close to the break, so we'll go into it a little bit more if you want. But
Yep.
How things are cyclical. And so I was thinking back, and from 2001 to 2004, I represented the banks in foreclosure. That's how I learned everything that I do today, by doing it for the other side. And I recall right around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, the banks would all send out an order that said, cancel all evictions. Cancel all evictions, cancel all foreclosure sales, get them rescheduled. The banks didn't want to be kicking people out of their house Thanksgiving, Christmas time, New Year's. And so we would, now I don't know if they're still doing that today. I think to some level they may be, but everything is cyclical. So at the end of the year, people aren't wanting to think about, I'm having trouble paying my bills, I'm having trouble with this, I'm having trouble with that. They're thinking about, I need to buy my kids presents, I need to buy my grandkids, I need to buy presents for this one or for that one. And so we see a downturn at the end of the year. And then right around spring, summertime is when we see things start to pick up again. And there's a reason for that I don't know that I have time to go into right now. But we see things slow down at the end of the year. We see them pick up again right around this time of year, right around spring, summertime.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. And Shawn, you mentioned your experience. You worked on the banks, or with, from that perspective, on the bank side, so to speak, of helping them with these foreclosures, these types of procedures that we saw happen again, with the unprecedented times that we went through with the 08, the 07 financial crisis. And then now you're on the consumer side, helping consumers with financial solutions. So we're talking about bankruptcies, loan modifications, short sales, a lot of different ways that Shawn Yesner, attorney Shawn Yesner here in Tampa Bay, can help you win. And we're going to go into more detail with that. When we come back, I want to hear some of those success stories that you have. I know, Teo, I wanted to hear your success story as well that we talked about between the break. And we're going to go into our lightning round, where we're going to, hit you with as many consumer advocate tips, things to do, things to avoid as we can here with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. So stay with us. We're going to be talking with Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911, Shawn Yesner, attorney Shawn Yesner here in Tampa Bay, YesnerLaw.com, as well as Teo Leonard, web design ninja here in Tampa Bay. So stay with us for our final segment the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. And this segment is brought to you by Greg Geyer over at Printing Solutions, Inc. DigitalPrintingSource.com does a great job printing these awesome flyers and mailers, postcards, different types of banners for us. So give a shout out to Greg Geyer over at Printing Solutions, Inc., DigitalPrintingSource.com. And we have our property of the month, our featured listing of the month. It's going to be on the cover of Homes and Land magazine next month. Real excited about that cover that we've got going on. It's going to be 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa. A great buying opportunity here again in 33609, one of the most popular zip codes in all of Tampa Bay. 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, over 4,800 square foot living, listed at $1.195 million here for 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa. And it's a great buying opportunity. A historical style home, Mediterranean feel, large estate style lot with the backyard with an awesome swimming pool. And 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa. A great buying opportunity here in Tampa Bay. So for this or any of your real estate questions, concerns, comments, check out realestateradiotampa.com as well as our hotline at 917-1894, 813-917-1894. And before the break, we were talking with attorney Shawn Yesner here, YesnerLaw.com. And you were making a point there, Shawn.
Yeah, so I was talking about the reason that everything seems to be cyclical in my business. And so at the end of the year, when people are dealing with Thanksgiving and Christmas, they don't want to think about all the negative things that we talk about in terms of foreclosures and loan mods and short sales and bankruptcies and all that stuff. And what they do is they charge up these balances on their credit cards buying gifts, which is fine. And then we get into spring and summer, and it comes time to now try to catch up on all that stuff.
Right.
And so one of the things, in the show notes, we talk about, the snowbirds and all of them. Well, a lot of the snowbirds are now back up north. I actually had a friend of mine post on Facebook from the northwest part of the country, and she's got a fire pit going wearing jeans. And so a lot of the snowbirds have now gone back because it's just way too hot down here and way too humid down here again. So people that rely on that type of revenue, that type of income, have seen a dip. Plus, there's a law in bankruptcy court that talks about purchases made within 90 days prior to filing may be non-dischargeable if they're for luxury items. So somebody that went to Target and bought food, dischargeable. That is a non-luxury item. We need food. But if they also said, I'm going to pick up this new beach outfit, or I'm going to pick up this new pool float, or I'm going to pick up this new water gun for the kids, or whatever, that's a luxury item. If they bought all these Christmas presents in December, for 90 days, those charges are not dischargeable. So those credit card charges don't become dischargeable until we get into the spring and summer months. So I see a downturn in foreclosures, a downturn in bankruptcies, not because there's any less of them, but because people don't want to think about them.
Yeah.
And then once, spring and summer comes around, they start thinking about, how am I supposed to get out of this debt again? And again, like you've said a lot of times on the show, like I've said a lot of times on the show, bankruptcy is something useful, something that people can use when they find themselves in a situation that they cannot dig themselves out of. A lot of times I'll tell a client, you didn't get into this mess overnight. You're not going to get out of it overnight.
Exactly.
So let's figure out a way to restructure these debts, get you out of it, and that way you get to Christmas this year and you're able to buy presents for the family again and be on the road to recovery again.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple points is that, almost every business is cyclical. It reminds me of attorney Joe Kearns. When he came on the show, he talked about after the holidays, that January, that's when he gets all the calls for he's our family law attorney. It's when they finally decide, hey, this is my last year of going through with this relationship that I'm in. I'm going to file bankruptcy or file a divorce case.
Law a lot. When people are fighting over finances, they're fighting over more than that. So sometimes I can make a referral to Joe, and then vice versa. I don't have the same conflict of interest issues that Joe has. So a lot of times divorce attorneys will send me bankruptcy clients.
Right.
And both the husband and wife will come to me. And as long as they can sit in the same room for about 10 to 15 minutes and get along for 10 to 15 minutes, that's all I need. I can get both of them into a bankruptcy because they are still legally married.
Right.
They get their discharge. Then I send them back to the divorce attorneys. The divorce order gets entered, and then they go their separate ways with a clean slate in terms of debt.
Yep.
So they don't have to worry about husband takes this credit card, wife takes that credit card. It's all wiped out, and then they get their clean break in the divorce court, and then they go their separate ways. Unless they have kids, and then that's, again, I send that to Joe and his firm.
Yeah, and we want you to think about these decisions that you're making out there, and whether it's a loan modification where maybe you're not happy with the modification that the bank did even a couple years ago, you can go back because once the property's appreciating, you're looking at a different scenario. Attorney Shawn Yesner can help you with loan modifications and bankruptcies as well. Of course, short sales, we can help you with those if you're not sure about what a short sale or what it entails. There's so many misnomers out there around these areas. We want you to reach out. We'd love for you to sit down, do a consultation with Shawn, and visit him at his office, and you do the consultations for him.
Yeah, my office in lovely Westchase, that property you were talking about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Not my property, but after the open house, swing on by the office, come see the office. We're right there in Westchase.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I like about this show is that we're able to be that consumer advocate. If you are uncertain or you're thinking about don't deny the debt, don't despair about it. Go out and sit down and have an opportunity to sit down and learn what maybe this would be a good time to talk about maybe a success story that you've seen. Somebody comes in, they may have these false ideas about a bankruptcy, but then you're able to help them through that situation.
Yeah, I had a client, great client, turned out to be a really good friend of mine, husband and wife couple. The husband was a realtor, is still a realtor in a different market. The wife is a bookkeeper, and both had their own businesses, but in the downturn, neither one of them was making very much money. They came into my office. I was able to file a Chapter 7, get rid of all of their debt, which relieved all of that burden. 3 years later, they bought a $300,000 house on a golf course down in Sarasota market. And both businesses have since exploded, and they're doing fantastic. They're making more money than they can count these days.
Yeah, so a lot of times it's like hitting Control-Alt-Delete on your computer screen. You're able to, reset, restart, focus on positive rather than considering and thinking about, a lot of it's the subconscious mind. If you're worried about debt, how effective are you really at work when you're thinking about that? You're thinking about bills, you're thinking about problems, whereas if you're focusing on positive things, you're focusing on getting your business back on track, the outcomes that you want, then that's going to help you win. So we're going to go ahead and enter our lightning round. All right, top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid. Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911.
Yeah, there was something Shawn said a minute ago about, your computer performance doesn't go down just overnight, and you're not going to be able to just fix it with a one button magic thing that you can download off the internet. So it's best to, a lot of the biggest problems I see is when people try to fix their own problems on their computers, and then I have to go in and fix what they tried to do and all that kind of stuff. So in the first place, it's best just to consult a professional and let's get it fixed right, and then let's talk about a maintenance plan so that you don't have that problem going forward.
Yeah, great point. Teo Leonard, Web Design Ninja.
The same rules apply here. With your small business website, it just pays to hire a professional. What you don't realize the business you're missing until you do it the right way and your phone starts to ring a little more. Those free websites at $100 a month, in a year and a half, that's $1,800 when you could have hired a professional for $2,000 and got a whole bunch more business over that last 18 months.
Yeah, save yourself. You're going to be all stressed out if you're trying to do it yourself. So you want to save that stress. Attorney Shawn Yesner.
Yeah, student loans. So the court recently appointed me to represent somebody who's trying to eliminate her student loans in bankruptcy court. So hopefully pretty soon I will have a success story for you. But bankruptcy is now picking up the mantle, and we're starting to get a little bit more aggressive with eliminating student loans. Still has to be under certain circumstances, but we're now really focused on trying to get rid of those.
Wow, student loans. I mean, I think, who was it? Mark Cuban came out and said that's going to be the next bubble, talking about student loans.
It's coming. The wave is coming.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's scary. And I always think about, too, the currency with the Brexit vote, with, all these things happening. You got the ripple effect potentially with the European Union and gosh, there's a lot of things to worry about or think about, but what we want to do is help you win. We want you to focus on winning here. We want to help you. Again, 80 show partners now with the Real Estate Quarterback Show, the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're all geared to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. So there's a lot of geopolitical stories out there. There's the economy out there, but then there's the economy between your own ears, and that's where we're different than a lot of the disconnected talking heads out there in the media. Our show is designed specifically to help you win whether you're selling a home, you're looking to potentially restructure some debt, or you need help with your technology. I want to thank Randy Smith, Tech Guy 911, Teo Leonard, Web Design Ninja of Tampa Bay, attorney Shawn Yesner, YesnerLaw.com, for coming in the studio. I also want to thank all of our listeners, our executive show producers, everyone behind the scenes, and please go out there and consider making a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time, same time and place.